In regards to the subject of taxation, I wish to commend the Prime Minister and the Mara Barroso government for declaring that there will be no increase in taxes or increase in the rates of taxes. However, we should seriously consider lowering the tax rate for companies and for individuals. We have one of the highest tax rates in the region. It's very oppressive. And not only that, the philosophy is such now that we are encouraging taxpayers to voluntarily turn up and pay their taxes. Taxpayers are very reluctant to pay their taxes because firstly it's so high. They do so, but reluctantly. There are those organizations that do so because they have to. It's in their organizational mandate. They have boards and such that require them to do so, so they have really no choice. And oftentimes we aggressively pursue these companies. The subject I want to speak about is the bad taxpayer. There are a number of those. These bad taxpayers don't pay their taxes, and they have very elaborate schemes, tax avoidance schemes. And they operate in our midst, and they are thriving, building empires and funneling most of their proceeds offshore and building empires over there too. Many of them operate as cartels. And they do very well here in this country, raping and plundering our resources at will and whim, with very little attention from the tax office, just as if they are untouchable. Many instances they are declaring losses after losses, but they've been here for 20, 30 years, still building empires. And then they're now moving into other business activities. Real estate, for instance. Now mining, even carbon trading, etc., etc. These are the people we need to aggressively pursue. The tax office needs to develop an intelligence-driven effort, which was the case some years ago. I think they've kind of gone off track a little here, I would like to say. An intelligence-driven effort where you identify the bad taxpayers and you pursue them vigorously, using the amazing powers that are contained in the Income Tax Act. Very powerful laws exist whereby you can determine exactly how much an individual or an organization earned in profits and tax them accordingly. But we are pursuing companies that are genuine in paying their taxes, and we're making life very difficult for these companies to operate. My number one recommendation is that we should seriously consider lowering the tax rates for income taxpayers, especially the individuals. I believe it's 35% for Papua New Guineans and anywhere between 42% and so for expatriates. Expatriates earn sufficiently, so leave that alone. But I would say for Papua New Guineans, we should reduce it, and I would like to propose 10%. 10%. And it's the same for companies. For Papua New Guinean companies, if you want them to pay taxes, perhaps develop a law that will allow them to have a tax holiday for, let's say, 5 years whilst they establish themselves. And then the tax office should have a board and should be intelligence-driven in its efforts. To go out there and take on the bad taxpayers. And there are bad taxpayers out there. Many of us know who they are. They operate at will and whim. In this country, they've virtually recolonized us, and we seem to ignore this fact. They run this country in many instances, I would even like to add. Why are they so untouchable? Thank you.